This new bottle has been the talk of the town. It's brand new, and we're here to review it. Hi, friends. I'm Laura. This is Troy. We're Baker Drinks, and we've got the 1924. So, this bottle we're going to do a review of. We're going to do a blind with other 10-year bottles, and we're going to do a blind with other Old Forester products so that we can give you the full impression of this bottle.
And answer all them questions that nobody's asking.
So sit back, get comfortable, because this may be a little bit longer than our other videos. Okay, so first things first, what is special about this bottle? It is in the Whiskey Row series. It looks the same as the 1910, the 1920, the 1890, all those numbered year bottles. This one is their first 10-year-old product, and it's got a different mash bill than they normally use. So it's a lower rye mash bill than all their other products. So it's, I believe, the same as Early Times, Bottled and Bond, and King of Kentucky.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Beat you to it. Okay, so, let's just get into it.
Yeah, so if you've watched any of our previous videos, you know that we're going to start this, or we have started this new scoring system for 2024, so we can kind of keep track of where bottles end up in the rankings throughout the year. It makes the year-end tournament that much easier. We just pick the top scores and put them in a head-to-head competition type of thing.
And really, it helps us to know what we like more than just going off of memory of,
exactly.
Yeah, this one's good, and this one's also good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And from what I remember, I think this one was better than that one. And
yeah,
you get the idea.
So, let's see. First things first, let's go off the nose. Well, first things first, let's cheers. Cheers to you guys. So, I'm getting a lot of oak influence. I'm really sensitive to a char note. So, I'm getting a lot of like char, almost savory, like a burnt, I guess, note. And that must be because of the 10-year product.
Yeah, and for me, I don't get the char and the burnt like you would get on a toasted or a double oak product. I don't get that. I do get just a ton of like super sweet oak. It's very predominant oak is the note. There's some deep dark fruit in there too, but you got to kind of pick it out in the background. It's hiding behind that oak. And there is, for 100 proofer, there's a slight little ethanol punch right in my nostrils.
Yeah, and almost like a sweet, dusty note also, which I don't normally get on a 10-year product. It's more something I get on those like extra age stuff, like an 18-year or that kind of thing. So it's surprising that I'm getting that dusty old note.
So on the nose, on the flavor and the depth, I'm both going to give this an 8 out of 10.
And I give it a 7 for the flavor, 8 on depth. And it's just because I don't love that note that I get, but I feel that way about every other bottle that I get that same note on. So it's just a preference thing.
Yep. And for reference, a 7 is a good whiskey. It's one that we would reach for often and enjoy.
Yep.
So I'm going to have a sip here.
Oh, I know I enjoy it.
Yeah. So I didn't talk about the appearance when we first poured this, but it is a darker than normal Whiskey Row whiskeys, and I assume that's the 10 years. And it's got this nice little ring around the top. It seems in the glass very viscous, and the only reason I'm bringing this up now is because on the palate I was expecting, because of the appearance, it to be a little more viscous, and it's not.
I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not what you're
It's
wanting. It does coat the palate.
yes.
It is a full flavor experience. It's not thin by any means. Uh,
Yeah, I was expecting it to be just a little more oily. I wanted to feel it a little more in my mouth, and that was kind of a, if I dare use the word letdown. That based off the appearance, I was expecting more. Um, I'm giving it a 7, which is still, like I said, that's a good whiskey. On the flavor, I'm going to give it an 8, and my notes that I wrote down here is that it's slightly off profile from the classic Old Forester, and that could be the different mash bill, and it could also be the 10 years. It's very oak forward, but not a bitter oak. It's sweet.
yeah. I have a lot of similar things. I think it coats pretty well. I gave it an 8 for flavor and for feel. I get a lot of like sweet vanilla flavors. It definitely doesn't taste like any other really Brown-Forman product that I can think of. But we'll see, because we will compare it to another Brown-Forman product in our blind, but it doesn't. If someone gave this to me, I would not guess that it was Old Forester.
Yeah. Now, as this evolves in my mouth, that sweet oak, it kind of turns into, like Laura said, there's a lot of vanilla, a lot of toffee and caramel, but on the late palate, some hints of banana show up, and I'm guessing that's that Brown-Forman is letting you know that, hey, I'm still here.
I'm still here. Yeah, and I get this slow building spice on the tongue as well. It starts out very mellow, and it just keeps building and getting spicier and spicier as it lingers on the palate.
Yeah, but not to be confused with ethanol. It's not
Right.
it's not a burn. It is 100% a spice.
Yeah, it's like the little tingly sensation, like
But-
you would get with pepper
Like
or
you put a little
something.
too much pepper on your food,
Yeah,
and you like bite into one of them.
yeah, it's like that. So on balance, I said it's an 8, and complexity, I said it was a 7, because I'm just kind of getting a lot of the same notes throughout.
Yeah, and balance and complexity, I gave it 8s for both of those. I'm really enjoying this.
I am too.
A lot of the reviews that we saw like a week ago when this came out, or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was now, a lot of people weren't super impressed with it right up front. I'm had low expectations, and I'm glad that I had low expectations, because I'm enjoying this quite a bit now.
Yeah, and I think it could just be the people that have reviewed it. If like this doesn't taste, in my mind, like other 10-year products. It tastes like it has more age to that, and that's not for everyone. Not everyone likes that real oaky flavor, and this definitely has it. There's no doubt about that. So if that's not your flavor profile, then that's probably, it's not something you're gonna like. So don't waste your time searching for it or buying it.
And typically when I have a very oaky whiskey, that oak is sweet up front but trails off into bitterness almost all the time. This one, very oaky up front. I've not had a sip in a couple minutes now. There is no bitterness in my mouth. I mean, I can still taste that I had a sip of whiskey a couple minutes ago. No bitterness. So as oaky as it is, that's a nice, pleasant surprise that it doesn't trail into bitterness.
Yeah, and speaking of finish, it also does, a lot of the older whiskeys that have this kind of flavor, they're really drying on the finish, and I'm not getting that either. So it just kind of leaves you with this pleasant sweetness, and it's an enjoyable,
It's a
pretty
peppery
long,
sweetness, though.
pretty long finish.
Yeah, long peppery finish for me. That spice that Laura talked about building through the mid palate, and the finish for me shows up more in the finish, and like we said before, it's very peppery, sweet. Vanilla is a pretty predominant note as well. The fruit kind of disappears from that mid palate experience. I don't get the banana on the finish. It's more just vanilla and sweet oak.
Yeah. So then on finish for scoring, I gave it an 8 for the flavor and an 8 for the length. So I enjoyed both aspects of it.
Yeah. So overall, what's your impression of this thing?
It's got a great color. It's got the packaging I'd expect. It looks just like all the other Whiskey Row series. I do like the color purple, so that gives it a extra little no, really.
Go dogs.
But it also confuses me because it's double the price of other Whiskey Row series bottles. So I get that it's a limited edition, kind of. It's going to be a yearly release, but it just doesn't seem like it fit in the Whiskey Row series because it's double the price of everything else, and it's not supposed to be easy to find, which is just confusing to me. So it takes away some of its appeal because of that.
Yeah, and for me, on the impression, I gave it an 8. It's got that classic Whiskey Row packaging. You cannot mistake this bottle for being anything else. This is a Whiskey Row bottle. It was dark. It was oily looking in the glass. It's well balanced. I really enjoy the flavors. It's just a well put together whiskey. The price and availability, like Laura mentioned, that's problematic for this one. I would expect a Whiskey Row series product to be more comparably priced in that, they start at like 40s and go up to about 60 at 10 years of age. I could justify this being like 65 maybe. Even
80. It is definitely a step above the others, but it's not double price.
But even as an annual limited release, which is what they say on their website, Jack Daniel's, also a Brown-Forman product, puts out their annual limited edition releases at $75. And I feel like they're all better than this. So I have a hard time paying the $115 MSRP for this. It's not easy to find. And, for that, I'm going to give it a score of 6 on value. But the impression's an 8.
I also picked 8 for impression and 6 for value. So for me, my total score was a 76. So pretty good.
And my total score was a 77.
Similar scores, slightly different ways we scored it. But either way, we consider it pretty good. Not amazing, not bad. We enjoy it.
If I were to run across this again in the wild at MSRP, would I buy it a second time? I probably would. Even though I hate the price, I would probably pick up a second one just because it is that annual limited release. You can tell we've put a dent in this already. Mostly doing reviews and live streams and whatnot. We'll slow down on it after this. We may not even approach it again for another couple of months. That's just how it kind of goes with us. But it would be nice to have a backup and not have to worry about drinking it slow.
Yeah. Or we just wait till next year and try to find it then. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not too worried that I'll have to make that choice because it's not easy to come by. Keep sticking around. We're not done yet. We appreciate that you're here for the review. We've got a blind coming up of other 10-year-old whiskeys with this in it. We'll see how it stands out.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
So here's the first blind of this. These were recommended to us by people during our live stream. We have other 10-year products. We've got the Jack Daniel's 10-year, the Michter's 10-year, Henry McKenna 10-year, Eagle Rare, 10 years old, and then the Old Forester 1924, 10 years old. So this is a 10-year-old blind. Troy and I probably don't have the glasses in the same order. We just kind of mixed them up so that neither one of us know what order they're in. We're gonna just kind of quickly go through it. We'll eliminate one each time we go through. Could be the same ones, could be different ones, and then we'll reveal what one our orders.
Yeah, and you guys already know this, but not a crazy difference in the proofs between these bottles.
They're all 90 to 100, so pretty close. They're all the same age. We got two different Brown Foreman. I like having the Jack Daniel's 10-year in there because then, you know, maybe they taste the same, maybe they taste different. Only one way to find out.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right now.
And we like all these bottles, so that's also a fun blind to do. I hate doing blinds where I'm like, oh, I know I'm not gonna like one of them, and what if I accidentally pick that one? I know I like all of these, so I have no real stake in the game of how this plays out. I don't need to try to guess what any of them are. I just get to enjoy them and pick my favorite.
Yep. So I'm just gonna nose through them left to right. I'm gonna taste through them left to right, and I'm gonna push one out, and then I'm gonna do it again and basically till there's a winner. Ours are mixed up in different orders, so we'll reveal at the end what's what. Hopefully that 1924 competes, and I think it will. Loving the nose on that one.
I mean, so far
Very different, but also good.
I haven't found one that I haven't enjoyed on
I
this.
know, right?
Where's the one I don't like?
Poor us. We have to drink all these great 10-year whiskeys for science.
Sorry, I just smell the rye. Going nose blind already.
So 3 of these, 1, 4, and 5 for me, were pretty comparable on the nose, and then 2 of them were a little more floral, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Clunk.
I think I want to have Eagle Rare be last place just because it's the cheapest of the bottles, but I don't know that it's going to be.
Yeah, no,
And that's the only reason that I'd want it to be, because it's the easiest to find and the cheapest, so it makes me like, maybe it's opposite what other people want the cheapest, easy to find to be the winner. I want it to be the loser because then it like justifies the hunt and the price and that kind of thing. But I guess I wouldn't be disappointed either way, now that I come to think of it.
yeah. I mean, I pushed one out. It was nitpicking, though.
I had to nitpick
There's-
an AB, and it was still like,
There's only one of these that in my mind I kind of have an idea of what it might be right now, and I'm probably dead wrong.
I'm actually really confused because we just not that long ago did our review of 1924. I feel like I should be able to pick it out because we just drank it and I can't. So maybe that means it fits in. I was thinking maybe it wouldn't fit in, but it does.
Yeah, I mean, by comparison now that I'm drinking these 5 10-year products side by side, the 1924 doesn't seem overly oaky. Like initially, I mean, that was my main note. It was oak for days, right?
Yeah,
And it still is, but these are all oak for days.
exactly.
Okay, so we've pushed out another glass.
3 more.
We got 3 left. Thanks for staying with us.
Let's get back into it.
All right, so shall we sip through these last 3 and
Pick our order?
Get it down to the final two,
Oh, we're just eliminating one. We're not.
or do you want to get your order?
Let's just get our order.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna ABC. Okay, so last is on my left. First is on my right.
Yes. Last to first.
Okay.
I bet we have a completely different order.
Oh,
So
yeah.
why don't we reveal Troy's first, and then we'll reveal mine.
Okay. So last for me is yellow. Let's see what's yellow. Last for me was the Eagle Rare. Next is purple. And I know purple because this one has a purple neckband. So that's the 1924. Blue, Jack Daniel's 10. Green, the McKenna 10.
I can't believe it did so well.
First place, Michter's 10.
Oh. Now, was that easy for you, or did you think it was like crazy hard?
Oh, that was ridiculously hard. There is so much similarity amongst these. I mean, I would have expected some nuttiness on the McKenna coming out of Heaven Hill. I would have expected a little more funk on the Michter's. A lot more fruit on the Eagle Rare. And some banana on the Jack Daniels. And I got oak.
I got a lot of oak and sweet, like vanilla.
Yeah.
And I did get fruitiness on two of them.
Yep.
And I
mean,
assume it was these two.
it was just a lot more subtle than I was expecting. I was expecting to be able to pick out 2 or 3 of these very easily.
Yes.
And there was 2 that I had an idea about, and I was right about those 2.
So I'm sure my order is completely different. So let's go through mine. Is that what you put as first? So my last place was the one that Troy put as first, as the Michter's 10-year. And it just, I think it was the mouthfeel. This is not this year's that everyone loves. This was, or the 2023. This is like 2020 or 2021. 2021. So it's a couple years ago. I really like it, but for some reason I just wasn't craving those flavors today. So that's why. Then green. Which one's green?
You going in the opposite order that I went.
Well, this is fun. And then yellow.
Rare.
So not quite the opposite, but Eagle Rare, I mean, it kind of did what I wanted it to do. It stood it up to these. It's just lacking something, which is why it couldn't go further than third place. But I like the flavor a lot. I really like fruity whiskeys, and that one's really fruity, so that's why it did well. I'm not sure why this one didn't do as well, but for some reason.
Yep, don't look. Any bets on whether or not Laura puts Jack Daniels first?
I flipped a coin for these two. So before I was saying I didn't think it reminded me of the Jack Daniel's 10. I honestly couldn't tell that there was something different in the glasses. These tasted the exact same to me, so I have no idea which one's which. I got blue and then purple.
So that's blue,
There we go.
and that's purple.
Okay, so that's my order. This is first place for me. So apparently it did pretty good in our 10-year blind. It got second to last for Troy, but these are all great bottles. Honestly, you can't go wrong with any of them. Price points are all over the place. We got ultra cheap to pretty dang expensive on the table here. And I don't feel like any of them like really ran away with it, which is why Troy and I have basically opposite orders because they were just all good, and that's okay.
Yep. So we got one more blind to go. We're gonna have some water, refresh our palates, and then we're gonna set up for Whiskey Row, other Old Foresters. We're gonna do like the Black Label single barrel. Since we have the 115 proof 1920, maybe we'll throw in a Blue Label single barrel as well. And
We're gonna drink a lot.
just to keep the, so nobody's saying, oh, it's just older than all them, we're gonna throw in an 11-year-old birthday bourbon as well.
Sounds like fun. Again, thanks for sticking around. One more fun thing coming up.
We're almost done.
Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. We promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go!
Well, here we are for the third section of the 1924 video. We have 1924 in a blind with the rest of the Whiskey Row series. We're going to see how it stacks up, and I'm hopeful that it's going to win this battle.
I'm guessing it's going to do well for you. It won your blind against the 10 years. It didn't do as well for me. There may or may not have been a little palate fatigue going on there. That's a lot of oaky whiskeys to drink, and we drank them pretty quick. Take a little more time with this one, I think.
And it's a new day. We have fresh palates. We haven't been drinking. We are here for the science.
Yep, so pre-mixed, we've got the 1870, 1897, the 1910, 1920, 1924. Randomly, neither one of us are drinking in the same order, so I assume.
Sounds good to me. Let's get into
Let's
it.
just do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. You sleeping?
I'm awake.
Come over.
We've done it. Shall we just reveal worst to first?
Sure.
We went first with me last time. You want to go first this time?
Sure. I got orange, red, one of those colors. Red.
And red is the 1870. I would have
Not shocked.
I would have expected that.
Although I was a little shocked on the tasting that this one was really close. Like I did a lot of going back and forth on these two to decide which I liked more, and that's green.
And green, the 1897.
See, I thought I remember liking that one more.
Oh,
And honestly, on the first pass, I did like it a lot because it was the first one I drank, and I was like, this is really good. And then I got to some much better bottles, and I was like, maybe it's not so good. But by itself, I really enjoyed it.
yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't think there was a bad bottle here.
Well, yeah, but there were some differences.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have a feeling this guy and this guy placed the same for me. I would expect them to, just based on the stats. Only disappointing thing I have about this bottle and this bottle in general is the price. I think they're both fantastic. They're nice additions to Whiskey Row. I just wish they were both about $15 cheaper.
Yeah, the flavor was great. The reason they didn't stand up to the other ones was more the mouthfeel than anything else. But Let's go to the next one. I got yellow.
Yellow.
There is no yellow.
So yellow is the 1920.
I had a feeling it was that one. I'm not that often a higher proof kind of person. This
is interesting to me.
It almost went further, but it just seemed a little hot for me today.
Yeah, this is interesting. It should be interesting to anybody that watches us, because Laura
always says I don't like the 1910.
she does not like double oak whiskeys in general.
Well,
because they've got this weird note on them.
I didn't get that. I just got what everyone like claims that they get from it today. Like it, I'm pretty sure it's the next one. It was so sweet blue. Yeah.
And
it was incredibly sweet. I very much enjoyed the flavor, but I enjoyed the mouthfeel on purple more.
Which put the 1924s first.
I didn't necessarily pick it out on flavor of oakiness, which I thought I would, but drinking 5, you don't necessarily. But the mouthfeel on that one was way better than the rest of them, and that's why it won for me.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't revealed my order yet. I don't know that there's going to be much of a shocker here. I went red, green, yellow, blue.
Oh my gosh, we have never done
Purple.
one where we got the same result. That is the
Drank them in completely
first
different
time
orders, and I stand by this. The depth of flavor on this, the mouthfeel, the oak, the complexity, it all stands up in this blind, and it was the clear winner for me.
Yeah, that one was probably the easiest to pick. I struggled between these two, and I struggled between these two because I don't normally love that double oak flavor, but today it was doing something for me, and I very much enjoyed it. But I knew which one it was. It was no joke. Even on the nose, I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was the only one I was able to pick out on the nose. It's the double oak. It just has that buttery char. Like if you were to take a piece of whiskey soaked charcoal and rub butter on it, I mean, that's what this guy brings to the table, for me at least.
Yeah.
So this was fun.
I enjoy having a blind where we had the same results, because then we can like truly say this is how Baker Drinks feels about this.
I don't know that that's ever happened.
It has not. Never.
So we've got one more experiment, and then we can put a bow on this 1924. I want to test this against an Old Forester single barrel 100 proof, the black label.
Okay. So
we can see how 100 proof versus 100 proof it does. And I would also love to test this, and I know people are going to say right off the bat, oh, that Birthday Bourbon, the youngest thing in it is 11. We've got an 11-year-old Birthday Bourbon from a couple years ago, and I would love to test it against the 1924 10-year, 11-year, just so we can see how it stands up with another aged Old Forester product.
I like it.
So
let's do it.
Brand new right hand, no sticker on the bottom, is an Old Forester 100 proof single barrel. Left hand, purple sticker on the bottom, matching the purple neck band, 1924. And that smells amazing.
It's brighter and fruitier is what I'm getting.
Yeah, this one's got a little more, obviously a little more oak, but it's just a more sugary smell, and this is more fruity smell.
Yeah, that's what I get.
All right, I'm going to start with this one.
So good. I love these Old Forester black labels.
It's just ridiculous how good that is.
I love a fruity bourbon. Fruity gal.
Honestly, I'm going to give the edge to the 1924 here.
I am too. I think it's the mouthfeel. It's
Mhm.
the experience of drinking it that really does it. I love this flavor, but you can only go so far on flavor alone. Sometimes that edge of mouth experience,
And it's got to come with age, right? Time in the barrel.
I'm guessing.
Because it's got to be
sometimes
the only difference, really.
Yeah, sometimes, well, it's a different mash bill,
Slightly different mash bill.
but yeah, that's sad. I'm surprised really much can beat this single barrel, but 1924, it's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a runaway win for me. It was just better. I feel like it tasted a little better, and it had just a creamier mouth experience.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's pull up the next.
The beautiful birthday bourbon here. So are we doing birthday first?
No sticker, right hand, birthday bourbon, 11 years old. Oh my God.
Screwing up already. Oh, boy.
Left hand, purple sticker, 1924. God,
That smells really good.
just the aroma of a birthday bourbon.
They're very different on the nose, though.
Yeah.
Like, significantly different.
Everyone always says that the birthday bourbons have like the best nose in bourbon, and then they're disappointed when they drink them.
I mean, I could see that. The nose is phenomenal. It's really sweet. At least this one.
I'm drinking birthday first. That is fantastic.
And this is lower proof, right? 90 something.
It's like 98 something. It's pretty comparable.
96.
96. It's still going. At that low proof, it's just intense, like punch you right in the face flavors.
I feel like because this one's so like sugary sweet, like white sugar or powdered sugar or like that really sweet, intense sweetness, it makes the 24 come across as not sweet on the nose.
I mean, it's just now finishing.
It's like almost savory on the nose.
The complexity and the oak in that guy are amazing. Those were some great hand-picked barrels for that batch. And that, again, this is excellent as well. But the birthday bourbon for me is a clear winner.
I think I agree with you as well.
But who knew? A unicorn bottle beat annual limited release.
But honestly, these results make me happy.
Oh yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than getting a difficult to find bottle, paying the price for one, and it doesn't do well. They're so different. It's like, it is a difficult choice. It's not like a runaway better. I just like the fruitier, brighter, making up words here. Brighter flavors in this birthday bourbon compared to this one, but they both have a great mouthfeel. They both have great flavor, and the 1924 is somewhat easier to find than a birthday bourbon.
I couldn't be happier with the results. I said like 25 minutes ago probably that if I saw this again in the wild at MSRP, I would pick it up, even though I hate the MSRP of it. And just seeing how well it did against the rest of the Whiskey Row lineup and the Black Label single barrel, I stand by that. I would 100% pick up another one of these if I saw it at MSRP. I still feel like the MSRP of this bottle is problematic compared to the rest of the Whiskey Row lineup, but in this lineup, it won against all of them.
So maybe they'll extend the amount that they release. So it'll be more readily available. We'll see. You never know. Year to year is different,
Yep.
and the whiskey world is always changing, which keeps it exciting and fun for us, and hopefully fun for you guys too. But yeah, I think earlier in the video I was like, I don't know that I'd buy it again just because it's expensive. But now, even though we still have maybe 2/3 of the bottle left, we put a dent in it. I would buy it again. I would.
Yeah, for sure.
If I saw one today, I'd buy it.
Yep. There ain't no sense in lying about it. We would buy it again.
Yep.
So this has been an incredibly long video. We've put out a ton of information and a ton of comparisons. Hopefully it's meant something to you guys. It was a lot of fun for us. But to reward those of you who have stuck with us this far into the video, don't put the comment in the chat on the premiere. Put it in the comments for the video. We want you to use the word Whiskey Row. It don't have to be in all caps. It don't have to be hashtag, but Whiskey Row as one word so we can search on it.
Okay, no space.
No
Yeah,
space.
Whiskey Row is
one word. We're going to give out 2 1-ounce samples of this to randomly selected people who used that Whiskey Row in their comments. And we'll draw a week from today and we'll let you know.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We really appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. Please come back for more. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Cheers. Clunk.